Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Saba Show. Today we've got round 17 of the Dice Footy Championships. This is the ladder as it currently stands, and these are the results from the last round. That is simply about it. If you enjoy this, drop a like and subscribe, but without further ado, let's get into this one. First fixture of the round is Geelong taking on Melbourne. Geelong have had a very abysmal season, and they kick things off in this game on pretty much the exact same note. The D's, who have re-entered the top 8 after, basically going back and forth. They've obviously had a few win streaks in there, a few losing streaks in there. The Cats have played an abysmal first half, have to say. And the D's, well, very good half. Couldn't really ask for much more. Feel like this would be a very good game to watch in real life, but in the Dice Footy world, it is quite the opposite. The Cats can't kick a goal for their life. Don't know what they're doing in practice. And the D's, well, they haven't, completely sewn this game up. They are only up by about 26. So the Cats, if they had a good quarter, they could have had a little bit of an opportunity to win this game. But unfortunately, they don't even get remotely close. And the D's, even though they had a pretty poor second half, pretty much matched Geelong's first half, they still result in picking up the 4 points. Next game of the round is Sydney and the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs sit on top. They got back on the winners list last week, and the Swans, well, were in the top 4 for quite some time and have just been on a slide ever since. And this first quarter has really indicated their fall from grace. Second quarter, can it get much better? Yes, it can. It is the complete opposite to the first quarter. 6 goals after kicking the absolute minimum in the first quarter. And the Bulldogs do not lead at halftime after they actually held the Swans to the lowest possible score. Third quarter by the Swans is not very good. 9 goals, 8 is their score at three-quarter time. And the Bulldogs will regain the lead, have the ascendancy, and there's one quarter to play. So let's see what the Swans can do. They are only down by a very narrow margin, but that last quarter is not going to do too much. But the Bulldogs need to kick 9 points, and they do that easily. The odds of kicking lower is pretty low, and the Bulldogs get 4 points. We've got Collingwood and North Melbourne taking on one another. It is Collingwood who kick things off with 2-3 to start proceedings, and North Melbourne, can they get the lead? Yes, they can. So same amount of scoring shots, however, they were more accurate on the scoreboard. Second quarter for the Pies is not great. A few low-scoring games in this round, or low-scoring halves. North Melbourne try to break that trend, kick 8 goals, 8 in the first half, so they have a very high chance of winning this game. Let's just put it simply. The Pies, that third quarter was pretty poor. 2 goals, 5 for them, so they have been far from their best, and North Melbourne kicked 3 goals, 4, so a pretty mid-third quarter, but I'm pretty sure even if Collingwood kicked the high score here, it would not be enough. And they end the game on 7 goals, 19. So possibly will end up with more scoring shots than North. I don't think that's the case, though. North Melbourne will be picking up a big win here. 16 goals, 13 is their final score, and they win by about 8 goals. We've got Gold Coast who sit in the top 4 taking on Richmond, and Richmond have been, making themselves right at home in that bottom 4. They just can't break away from those shackles. They haven't started well here to put themselves in any position to, get out of that rut. Second quarter by Gold Coast is pretty good. 8 goals, 9 at the half, 4 goals, 6 in the quarter. And Richmond, that's a much better quarter by them. Only the 5 goals 2. I should say 5 goals 2, not only, because that is a pretty good score. They are down by 2 goals. The Suns in the third quarter start to pile them on, as they have, been doing for pretty much the whole season. Very good football side in the world of Dice Footy, and I think that third quarter defensive performance by the Suns has pretty much given them the 4 points, and they're well on their way to victory. They are. Richmond cannot get the required total needed by them in the last quarter, and that is the furthest possible result for them. They end up losing this one by about 38. Fremantle, who have emerged as a potential top 8 side, are playing St Kilda away from home, and St Kilda start this one off with 4 goals, 4. And Fremantle, can they respond? No, they cannot. They've been in a pretty good run of form pretty recently. But the Saints look like they are on a mission to halt that form, and they have 10 goals, 9 at half-time. And Fremantle, another inaccurate second quarter or first half from a team in this round. It has been a common thing, a common trend happening. St Kilda have 108 and 3/4, so I don't think you'll be catching them. Fremantle are well off the pace in this one. St Kilda will be getting some much needed percentage. We have emphasised in previous episodes the importance of having a good percentage, given so many teams are on the same amount of wins in that middle part of the table. The Dockers, that's a pretty poor performance by them. They lose this one by just under 10 goals. Alrighty, we've got Port Adelaide taking on GWS, another common bottom four side this season. They haven't really ventured outside of that. Port Adelaide, I believe they haven't been in the best of form recently, but still hold position, given some other teams have not been in form below them. Second quarter by the Power is pretty decent. 8 goals, 7 at the half. That's what they'll be running with. And GWS, 5 goals, 3. So pretty much the exact same thing from them as the Power did in the second quarter. They lead by a very narrow margin. The third quarter by the Power is quite the opposite of what they achieved in the first half. And GWS, 2 goals, 5 for them. So they had an opportunity to break away. They only lead by 10 points. It is up for grabs. The Power need a win, and that last quarter is not the most convincing. So GWS need 2 goals to win. If there's any side that'll choke it, it's them. And what did I just say? They've done it again. I cannot be asked. They have lost this game by 3 points. They're up at every single break except the one that actually matters, and that's the final siren, final quarter, whatever you want to say. Power win by 3 points. Next up is Brisbane taking on Essendon. Here we go. And Brisbane start things off with 5 goals, 3. Bombers, can they match that? Yes, somewhat. Only trailed by 5 points, had the same amount of shots on goal, and you wouldn't be complaining with that, given you're playing the second best team in the league. But the Lions are on today. They are switched on, and Essendon, well, there's no room for error, and they have just done exactly that in the second quarter. 2 goals, 1 is not going to cut it. Third quarter for Brisbane, they cracked the ton just as the final siren goes in the third quarter. And the Bombers, well, I think this one is a wash as well. It's 43 points at 3/4 time. Any score, the lowest from Brisbane and the highest from Essendon, still wouldn't make a game out of it. And Brisbane end with 19 goals, 15. And the Bombers, they salvaged something from it. They still lose by an even 7 goals. So more percentage gained for Brisbane. Hawthorn and Adelaide, this is the second last game of the round. It is a game that is pretty much a dead rubber at this point. Both sides haven't really looked really near from it. That doesn't make any sense, but they've been far off a high standard. So that first quarter, depicted something completely different. 5 goals, 5 to 6 goals, 1 extremely high scoring first quarter. I was just talking mumbo jumbo at the start of this game, but we're back on track now. The Crows are up by 4 points at halftime. They have been on the winners list more often in recent weeks. There's another opportunity here for them to pick up some points to get their confidence up. They are leading by a goal at 3/4 time. It's been close the entirety of the way. They're going to need to score big in this last quarter if they want to secure the win. If they get the 4 points, they've deserved it. Here we go. 4 goals, 4 needed from the Crows, and they're going to get it. They've been notorious for choking games this season, but finally they get on the winners list in a close one. Final game of the round, it's West Coast taking on Carlton. Here we go. West Coast start things off well at home. They kick 5 goals, 4. That's what you want. You want to start well at home, get the crowd involved. The Blues have not been great out of the blocks. They are down by 20 at quarter time, and that second quarter by the Eagles is equally good as the first. And the Blues, well, what are they going to do? Pretty much the exact same they did in the first quarter. So both teams replicating their first quarter efforts. And, I was going to say the Eagles could have put this game to bed if, they had a big score in them. But unfortunately, they have let the Blues back into the game. Or so I thought. 2 goals 5 is not going to help you in any way, shape or form, and the Eagles will comfortably get a win. It's just a matter of how much, and they end up with 15 goals 15. So the Blues can kick 6 goals 6, and they would have lost by 3 goals. They get somewhat close to that. Inaccuracy killed them, and they lose this one by about 5 goals. And this is the ladder as it stands after round 17. Not too much movement in this round, actually. A little bit of separation between some teams in the top 8 and those on the outside. The Crows finally got off the bottom of the ladder. Geelong dropped down to that position. But that's about it. St Kilda are the new team to enter the top 8. But that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed this one. This is a weekly thing, so subscribe if you want to stay tuned. And that's it from me. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.